Okay, hello everybody. This is Ciara Mason Garrison, your silver consultant. We are doing some mock booking training today for Team Horizon. So welcome everybody in. I hope you're excited. We're gonna go ahead and get started today. Mock bookings. Why do we do mock bookings? Does anybody know why we do mock bookings? I want a little bit of participation from you guys today. To earn business, absolutely. Yep. That's correct, Ricky. Anybody else? Anybody else? Why do we do mock bookings? Maybe to, yeah, practice, absolutely. For people to see what we can book. Exactly. All of those are correct. All of those correct. Nothing is incorrect. Mock bookings. Well, when you think about the reason for a mock booking, it's kind of to highlight something, right? It's like just a little bit about a hotel, a little bit about a destination, and then some great pictures, and not too much, something that's going to just catch your eye and like, whoa, I want to see what this is all about. So that's kind of the idea of a mock booking. If you think about it, I'm in Chicago. So in Chicago, if I go downtown and I go down Michigan Avenue, I want to shop. I want to shop and I want to find good deals. So I'm always going to look for something that is, catching to the eye. So maybe a clearance sign or a sale or going out of business sale, whatever it might be. It's the same concept as a mock booking. So you want to make sure that you do those and you do them consistently. You can't expect to do it once or twice and expect a big result, right? You want to get your name out there. You want to get your business out there. So that's the idea for mock bookings. Now for today, we are going to go ahead and do a mock booking for an all-inclusive resort. That's my specialty. Those are my favorite. They're easiest. And they're all inclusive. So what we're going to use today for our mock bookings is VAX. So does everybody have VAX? So you want to go ahead and open it up. And I am going to share my screen.
Not yet for me.
Not yet? Okay, yeah, Jacob. Yeah, I think it takes a little bit long. I think it's, what is it? Is it 72 hours or 48 hours? Something like that. Yeah, so I think you want to just double check your request, because I think you might have sent me a message, but we can talk about that a little bit later. But for now, just go ahead and follow along. This is VAX. So if you guys have already logged in, you'll see your home screen here. VAX it's a portal that we use to book with a couple different suppliers. So it in-houses quite a few suppliers here, as you can see. There are some that everybody has their preference to. There's some that people do not use at all. Myself personally, I have some that I go to. My favorites are FunJet. And I also have used United Vacations. I've used Apple Vacations, and I've used Southwest. I've yet to use the other ones. No particular reason why I have not. I just haven't gotten to it just yet. Just a couple of things to note. When you are doing your quotes for your clients, or if you're doing any, gathering any information for your clients after you've done your mock booking and you've got them in, you want to consider which one of these suppliers that you're using. FunJet, they host a lot of suppliers, so they will have Southwest flights, or they will have United Vacations. I'm sorry, United flights, and they will have American Airlines. Now, if you go specific to book with American Airlines, you're only going to be able to rebook with American Airlines in the event that your client cancels and they have the travel protection and they're going to use their travel credits. So you want to keep that in mind. So that's the reason why I use FunJet. It's because they have a little bit of everything instead of just one thing. If you use American Airlines Vacations, you're going to only have American flights. So that's something to keep in mind. And I want to just ask really quick, guys, if you can just go ahead and mute yourselves. I want to make sure that everyone can hear me clearly here.
I can. There's something playing.
Oh, okay, here we go. All right, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so like I was mentioning, yeah, so VAX is what we're going to use for today. Like I said, I usually use FunJet. They do give the best prices. They usually do. Sometimes Apple Vacations gives prices that are very similar, and the commission might be different, but those are things that you want to look into when you're actually going through your quote. But for today, we're going to go ahead and use FunJet. And not every destination has all-inclusive resorts. Typically, you're going to find your all-inclusives in Mexico. You're going to find them in the Caribbean. You're going to find them in the Western Caribbean and the Eastern Caribbean. You might find them in, Curacao, Costa Rica, Panama. There's certain locations where there are all-inclusive resorts, and that just means that when your client is at that resort, everything is included. So their food and their drinks. And of course, you want to just make sure when you're going through your resorts, you look at all the details to those resorts when you give them to your clients. So for today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a flight and hotel package. And then we're going to pick our departing. I want a little bit more participation here. So let's see. Where are we going to depart from, guys? Where are we going to depart from? Anybody have a destination here? Oh, Jamaica. Oh, we can go to Jamaica. Yeah, we can absolutely go to Jamaica, Rocky. Okay, we're gonna go to Jamaica, but let's depart from, how about we just go ahead and depart from Chicago since we're already there. We'll just go ahead and depart from Chicago. So we're gonna look at a flight and hotel package, and we're departing from Chicago, and we're gonna be going to Montego Bay. Now today, just for the sake of the mock booking, we're gonna do it pretty basic, pretty simple. We're not gonna add too many things to the package. We're really just trying to catch the eye of our clients, or I'm sorry, our potential clients out there on whatever social platform that you're using. So you don't necessarily wanna, add a bunch of different rooms for your mock booking unless you are advertising something like a group booking for 4 or a group booking for 6 or something like that. But for this sake, we're just going to do 1 room, 2 adults, and no children for this trip. Okay. And then as far as you're departing, when you're doing your mock bookings, you want to make sure that you do have an option in your mock bookings for your deposit, so that you can advertise that price in your mock bookings. I can't quite remember. Don't quote me on this one, but if you're booking something, I think 60 days and further out, you will have a deposit. Anything under 60 or maybe under 45, you will not have a deposit. So we're going to go ahead and look at a departing trip that is beyond the 60 days so that we do have a deposit to advertise in our mock booking today. I don't have any particular days that, I like to choose. I just kind of pick any days and go from there. I usually start with a 5-night stay. And then, everyone does it a little bit different. This is kind of how I like to do it. So I will do the 5-night stay. And as you can see, when I put in 5 nights, it's going to auto populate my return. I'm not going to click the travel protection, but you do want to make sure that you add it, because I do want to show you where you can add it if for some reason you forget to click it here. There is an option for you to do once you go ahead and search for your package. So we're going to go ahead and search. Any questions to this point right now? I just want to make sure that everyone is doing the same thing, or we're trying to replicate the same thing so that we can go ahead and all put our mock bookings out tonight. If we're doing it, we might as well put it out. Any questions thus far? No? No? No questions. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so as we can see, as we are using VAX, we have search for a package from departing from Chicago to Montego Bay in Jamaica. These are the codes for the airports. You'll get used to them if you don't know them now. You will. Some of them you'll be able to just spit off the top of your head. Some of them you'll have to look a little bit more, but the ones that you use more frequently, you absolutely will. Now, as far as our price, right now, this is what our itinerary price is, but that's as with this information here. So it's not what we've picked. We haven't picked anything yet. This is not our total price just yet. What I like to do is I always like to look at flights first. That's just my preference because flights are important to me. I am a mother who's going to be flying with a toddler, so I like to think about those things as well. So my first thing is I always look for flights before I do my hotel. So I'm going to take a look at what we have here. As you can see, there are some filters on the side here. You can change the type of flight that you're looking for. Maybe your departure time being in the morning, maybe it being in the evening, or maybe you want something that has 2 stops, or if you want 1 stop, or if you want a specific airline, and so on and so on. So you can actually go through and do filters. So if your client, after looking at your mock booking, says that they only want to fly Delta, you'll see that you'll have 6 options for a Delta flight. But for today, just for the mock booking, we're going to go ahead and do a 1 stop since we do not have nonstops. I typically go for nonstops, but since we're going to Jamaica and I know what their flight situation is, they don't have a lot of nonstops right now. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but they don't right now. So they have 1 stop and 2 stops. So I'm going to take a look at the first flights that I have. So the first available flight is from JetBlue, and it's departing from O'Hare at 7:52. Gonna have a layover here in JFK, landing at 11:20 on the 6th, and then we're gonna be departing again. So we have a 5 hour and 50-minute layover at JFK, and then we're going to be heading out to Montego Bay. So when you look at your flights for your quotes, of course, these are things you want to consider when you're looking at them for your clients who are going to be attracted to your mock bookings. These are definitely things you want to take a look at. However, just for the sake of the mock booking, we're going to go with the lowest price point today. And since JetBlue is our lowest price point because our sort by is from lowest to highest, we're going to go ahead and select this one. Now, sometimes when you have flights, you will see this message. This is a non-refundable change message. If you click this flight, it will absolutely be non-refundable. It says non-refundable. I have confirmed this with one of the suppliers. If you purchase a travel protection and you have a non-refundable flight, it is still non-refundable. So there is a little bit of a conflict on, some people that do book these flights and some that do not. I personally would not book a non-refundable flight because you never know what could happen. I have had a client cancel the morning of departure, and thank goodness she did not have a non-refundable flight. Otherwise, she would have lost out on a lot of money. So just keep that in mind when you do look into your flights. But for the sake of just focusing on our mock booking today, again, we're going to go ahead and select our lowest price point. As far as the codes and things like that with the airfare, there is a training for that. So you want to look into your Discord chat and see if we can find the training. I'll see if I can find it and post it. But there is a training on the different codes and things like that. So today I'm going to go ahead and select this one since this is my lowest price point. And does anyone have any questions at this point here? No? Okay. Perfect. So then you'll see this is the flight that we did select. It is a next day flight, so it's going to give you that warning. Your return flight is going to auto populate, but you can change it by selecting the hyperlink for return flights. I don't like this time. I usually like to give my clients a little bit longer time. So I try to leave a little bit later. And I like to be as realistic as possible. But it looks like for this particular flight, that is the only option for this day. So we don't have a choice. So for this day, we're going to go ahead and just keep that flight anyway, regardless of the time. Now, when you are doing your quote for your client, that's something you want to discuss with them and see what airline they prefer, because that would help you then to determine what type of departure time you would be looking at. So let me move my little chatty box here. Alrighty, perfect. So again, we are leaving from Chicago to Montego Bay on the 6th to the 11th. We just selected the flights that we want to look at. We will reconfirm those after we select our hotel. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is select our hotel. So I'm going to click hotels here.
You sure can. I get it. That name.
Oh, really, Rocky? Ah, that's so funny. So you better be doing this exact same thing. And you could present that quote to your client too. And you could change the departure location. So, okay, cool beans. So we are gonna go ahead and take a look at some resorts. That is my favorite part. So there's so many beautiful resorts, but literally, how do you pick the right one? How do you pick the right one? And really, when you're doing your mock booking, it's whatever one you feel like doing. You know, I like to go ahead and filter my hotels, just because there's certain things that I like to sell as a travel specialist, and that would be the type of client that I would advertise for. So for me, I am going to go ahead and do adults only and an all-inclusive. You guys are more than welcome to go ahead and follow along and do the exact same thing. And I'll show you how you can filter and what kind of happens when you filter. So actually, I'm going to uncheck this really quick here. So right now, for these dates, these are the hotels that are available. They have the different types of rooms, the different price ranges and things like that. So if you were gonna go ahead and do a mock booking, what type of hotel price range do you think you might look for? We wanna advertise. We're not necessarily giving a quote to someone for the exact location they want, but we just wanna advertise by gathering people's attention. So what price range are we probably going to try to stick with? The cheapest, yes, the cheapest, the lowest cost. We are going to try to stick with the lowest cost. So we can actually sort that here. By here, it automatically populates your preferred hotels. And preferred hotels are hotels that exactly what it is. It's preferred by the audience. So if you look at some of the other suppliers like Apple Vacations, they give you hints on what hotel is preferred and what hotel is also frequented. So that's why it's nice to kind of go through VAX and play with the different suppliers, even if you're not going to book them or use them, but you can also do that for a mock booking as well. So you don't always have to use FunJet. You can use Apple Vacations or Travel Impressions, whatever one you like to, just to kind of get used to working with different ones, but they all have their own personality, if you may. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at our resort. So I want to go ahead and start sorting by the lowest to the highest. And that very first one is going to be for this one, Legends European Plan. Okay, cool. That's the lowest. That's the lowest. So now I want to kind of think about what kind of resort I want to actually advertise for. So I want to do an all-inclusive. Oh, actually, before we do that, so the lowest ones, again, the number of hotels is 53 of them. So this is the lowest one. So once I go ahead and click all inclusive, it'll only give me 37. So it says 37 here. So the number up here should change to 37. So I'm going to do all inclusive. So now I have 37 hotels that are all inclusive. So that first one that we originally saw is not even there because it's not an all inclusive anymore. And the other option that I want to go ahead and start with also is adults only. That's just my preference. I like to do adults only. I do also do family vacations, and you can absolutely do a family vacation for a mock booking. I actually was thinking about doing that for the next one, but you can absolutely do that for a mock booking. Just for this sake, I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 adults, and I'm going to do an adults only. But there's a lot of different experiences that you can add to the package that you're looking for. Say if you wanted to advertise this in a Facebook group for planning honeymoons, maybe you might want to look into using the romance option, because you probably want something a little more romantic. Or if you want something that's a little more oriented towards a golfer, then you want to use that experience as a golfer. So these are really nice because it kind of gives you that idea of what resort you're looking for and what their specialties are. But this is just one supplier. We have tons of other ones that you can look at. So don't ever feel like this is all that you have. But for today, like I said, we're going to stay focused on our mock booking. Oh, let's see. Did you book under just flight and hotel? Yes, Rocky. This is flight and hotel. Yes. Yep. So we did filter out to a adults hotel, or I'm sorry, resort, and then an all-inclusive resort. And we did also sort by the lowest price to the highest price. So as of right now, this resort is the lowest cost, adults only, all-inclusive for these dates. So this hotel is there's nothing wrong with it. You want to make sure that you do your research. If you are trying to sell your mock booking, I'm sorry, advertise your mock booking in a specific type of group or a specific type of clientele, of course you would want to look through these different resorts and see which one you would like to advertise. But for this particular mock booking, I'm going to just kind of take a look at these and see which one I would like to. Just my personal preference, I don't like to I don't like to do mock bookings for places that I personally wouldn't stay. That's just my preference. Do it however you like to, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But that's just my preference. So there's no particular reason why I wouldn't stay at any of these resorts. There's just some that I like a little bit more, just from booking over experience. And each resort has its own um, personality, its own personality. So you definitely want to explore those. You want to do your research when you're doing, giving your quotes to your clients as well. So today I'm going to go ahead and click on the very first one here, the Baha'i Principe Luxury Runaway Bay, all inclusive. This is in Jamaica. Um, Nice pictures. It's beautiful. Look at that. Because we're definitely going to need pictures for our mock booking. So this is something you want to make sure that you're looking at. If you don't particularly like the resort, that's okay. You can skip it and go to the next one and advertise another one. There's so many different resorts out there, so many different options for you to view. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one here and see what we're looking at. Beautiful beach. Nice rooms, very clean, very modern, beautifully decorated. Okay, perfect. And then we have some upgrades, some current promotions, upgraded amenities, resort credits. So these are the kind of things you want to look at when you are looking at your resorts as well. And since I actually did a mock booking for this one just recently, I'm going to skip that one also. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the couples resort here, just so you can see. See, very beautiful. And like I said, every resort has its own personality, and which ones are preferred for the different types of travelers. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up here to the Rio. I'm going to go ahead and select that one. I did skip it earlier, but I just wanted to show you other options as well. But like I said, whatever it is that you're kind of looking for, once you filter it, you can select your resort based on the experience that you're trying to provide. So I'm going to do this one kind of as a quick getaway. So the Rio Montego Bay I have booked a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. Like I mentioned, you want to take a look at those promotions because those are things you can use in your mock bookings. And that's something we'll go over in just a few minutes. So first, before doing anything else, I want to just take a look at the pictures again, just to make sure it's something that I like, and that I'm okay with advertising here. And it looks really nice again. The ratings from TripAdvisor are not too bad here. I want to look here. Excellent. Gorgeous. Okay. Amenities, activities. We have a good amount of activities. So these are the things that you also, again, like I said, you want to put in your mock bookings because you want to bring attention, and people are always looking for things to do. There are some people that, of course, they just want to go to their hotel and stay there and not leave. But of course, there are some that are interested in things like this. They want to know about the Splash Water Park. So those are things you can highlight in the mock booking as well. So I'm going to go ahead and look at rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and select the lowest price point, since that's what we're going to be advertising today. The rooms, you can take a look at the different descriptions. It gives you like the amenities in the room and things like that when you're doing your quote. So these are things you look at, and you want to, of course, let your client know. You never know what your client may be looking for. They want to make sure there's an iron and ironing board, and this is where you would find that information here. So I'm going to go ahead and select your standard room. Okay. So right here, we have our total package for now, the flights that we selected and the hotel we selected, the room type, and then of course, all those different things that are included in your package with your room, and then our features. So we have our transportation, and then there's also a couple of different protocols and requirements that you want to look at when you are doing your quotes for your clients. But that's not something you want to take too much time with when you're doing your mock booking. But of course, you do want to be familiar with those things. So we have, like I said, we have our flight, our hotel, and our transportation. But we are missing one thing. What are we missing? Can somebody tell me what we're missing? What was that little thing in the beginning I said we weren't gonna add? Yes, Megan. Yes, the trip protection, the trip protection, the travel protection. Yes, we always want to sell travel protection. I personally will not sell something that does not have travel protection because I want my commissions to be protected. And I also want to make sure that in the event that anything does happen where my client does need to cancel, it's protected. It's just good for business to make sure that you have your client's best intention. So if for some reason we were doing a quote or we were doing our mock booking and we forgot to click the travel protection at the beginning of the page, you can actually add it here under features. So if you go to this little features hyperlink, you can add your trip protection here. So you have the travel protection plus full travel credits, or you have the travel protection plus cash refund. And since we're still going to be advertising that lowest price point, I'm going to go ahead and just do the travel credit. You do want to get a little bit familiar with this, just so you know what it is that you're going to be letting your client know that travel protection does cover. So just take a moment to look at that when you get a chance. There's also during travel protection, in case a client does want additional protection during their trip, and this is not, it doesn't include pre-travel, but it's actually during the travel. So again, you want to make sure you take a look at that. We already had our transportation selected in our package. I don't know if you remember up here, it was here, but you can also change it here. If for some reason you decided that you didn't want to do like a shared one, maybe you wanted to do a private transportation, you can change that here. Say you were doing like something special, like a Valentine's Day special, and you wanted to include private transportation versus the shared, you can add that to your package as part of your mock booking. I do that all the time with, various holidays and things like that, like Sweetest Day or Valentine's Day or Memorial Day. I'll add maybe the private transportation instead of the shared, just as a little incentive. And I'll add that in my mock booking, but I will show you guys where we do that too. You can also change the type of transportation if you need a wheelchair accessible one, or if you wanted private. So you can do all of that under features as well. One other thing that I want to make sure I add to this package, since we will be going to Jamaica, I am going to go ahead and add Club Mobe. Has anyone heard of Club Mobe? Anyone heard of Club Mobe? Club Mobe. Yes, Club Mobe. It is a very cool, that's cool. I'm going to tell you what it's all about. It's a very cool little feature to add to your package for your clients. Anytime. It doesn't matter if it's a honeymoon or if it's leisure, whatever the case may be. What it is, and you should definitely take a look at this later, is it's kind of a fast track. It's like a kind of like a VIP treatment for a client or someone who would be flying into Jamaica and flying out of Jamaica. It's in Montego Bay. They also have it in the Grill as well. And I think Ocho Rios, and there are also other resorts that have their own spin on it. But what it is, and I'll actually just click it here so you can see it. It's a meet and greet service that you'll get while you're getting to the airport there. They give you a fast track through immigration. which is really great. So you don't have to wait through the line. So it's a fast track through immigration. You also get access to a departure lounge where there's drinks, refreshments, and snacks and things like that. Both non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks. They have unlimited Wi-Fi and a business center as well. So your client can, one, get that fast track through immigrations, which is really amazing because, you know, who wants to wait if they don't have to for just a few extra dollars? That's something you want to offer to your client. I've sold it a lot, so I always add it to every single one of my packages, even if it is a mock booking. So I'm going to go ahead and select the arrival and departure because I want that fast track on both sides. Some people like to do only one, some people don't. It's whatever your preference is. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and do arrival and departure. And I'm going to add that to my package. Okay. And oh, let me make sure I add our travel protection too. Perfect. All right, so now our features, we have Club Mobay for $80 here. Our transportation to and from the hotel, we added our travel protection. And of course, again, those requirements and protocols that you want to take a look at. So that's everything that we need for our package to advertise and send our quotes to our clients. So this is pretty much what you would need to make sure that you have for every single package that you do, especially if you're doing all-inclusives and bags. Now, just a couple of things to note. We can see information about our package here. So the days prior to departure is 102. Our base package price, the adult base price per adult here. Options, we have travel protection, and then if there were any promotions or promo codes or anything like that, it would be in this area here. So we can see our total package price after changing everything however we wanted. Our total package price is $3,453.53 or $1,726 $77 per person. So that is what we just kind of created. So we have a package here. Now what are we going to do with it? Now let's make it pretty. So a couple of other things to note. If you were doing your quote for your client and you wanted to see what your commission was for your package, you can actually click this link here to your bottom right. It says booking administration. And that will show you what your commission is. That will show you what your commission is. Now, let's say for some reason your client was, they had a budget of, $4,000 and this is what your package was. If you wanted to take a look at your commission just to kind of see what, the actual cost would be, you can take a look here. You can also add commission here if you needed to. You don't necessarily need to do that. But that is totally up to your discretion if you would like to do that as well. Now, another thing you can do at this point is if you were going to be doing a quote, you can click email print itinerary here, and that will show you your balance, your payments, when it's due, the flights, just kind of like a summary of what it looks like. So if you were doing your quote, and you weren't using like a paid service like TravelJoy or Travelify, copy and paste works just fine too. I actually personally still do that. It's just the way that I work. I like the old brick and mortar, I guess you could say. But eventually I may have to become a little more efficient, but at this point, it's okay to just copy and paste and put it in a nice document, make it nice, and send your quote over to your client. So, but that is a training for another day. So now we have our entire package. We see what the price is per person. We saw what our commission was. We added Club Mobay just as a little incentive to add to our mock booking, give it a little bit more value. Now we want to grab a couple of pictures here. So I just clicked on the hyperlink under hotel, and I'll do that again, where it's the hotel name is a hyperlink. So I just clicked on that. And that opened up this little summary again that has your pictures, your price, your different rooms, and things like that. So any questions up to this point? I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page because we are going to post this today. Any questions? No? No questions? All right, sounds good. So let's go ahead and save a couple of pictures here so we can get those advertised for our mock booking. So I am just going to simply right click and save. Save image as. Save it wherever you like to save your pictures. Make sure you save it. I'm going to go ahead and just name it Rio, since that's the name of the hotel, Rio. I do like to do a couple of pictures. I'm more of a 5 or 6 pictures kind of a person. There are some people that are like, they only want 1 or 2, which is totally fine. Whichever you prefer is okay. Remember, this is your business, however you'd like to run it. But you know, it's okay to take a little bit from everybody and make it your own. So yeah. Is it possible for prices to change on certain dates? Absolutely, Ricky. Prices do change on certain days. Sometimes it might change by maybe $1. It could be $50, could be $100, or it actually could be like $300 or $400. It really just depends. That's why you always want to make sure when you send your quotes out to your clients, and even when you're doing your mock booking, you do want to make sure you note that prices are subjected to change. Just because, you know, we know how it is. You could be booking a flight and all of a sudden it'll go up, you know, $45 for no reason. So so let's go back to our picture. So we went ahead and saved this picture here because I like this picture. It gives kind of an overall. I like to tell a story when I do the picture. So I like to give you an overall of what it looks like. When you first come in, I like to give you a picture of that. So I'm going to save that. So save as many as you'd like. Again, I'm probably going to do like 5 or 6. I also like to make sure I check the room. I like to try to make sure that the room matches what I am going to be advertising. I don't want to sell a picture of a swim out when I pick the standard room. Now, if I had the swim out or a family room or oceanfront, then absolutely I want to make sure that that picture is included. But since we are just doing a standard room, I'm going to make sure that the room is the standard room. And that's just my personal preference. I think I don't know what others do, but that's just what I like to do as well. So I'm going to save here, room. Front. See, as you can see here, double guest room, ocean front, ocean view, family guest room. So they're a little bit different. So you can kind of see that it has a second room. But if you wanted more pictures and you want to look a little bit deeper, you can also just go onto their website and you can take a look. Their actual website, not Expedia or anything like that too. Like I said, I like to give a little bit of a story. So I'm gonna pick a restaurant. I like this one. I'm gonna go ahead and save this one. I'll go ahead and do the lounge bar too, just because it's nice. It's nice that they have live entertainment, so I want people to know that. And of course, I do want to do the beach. So, you know, like I said, everyone does theirs a little bit different, whatever your preference is as far as the type of picture. I also don't particularly care to do pictures with people in them. But for that one, the lounge, it was, you know, it wasn't like a bunch of people smiling and having a good time in the picture. It was just, you know, the bartender making a drink. So I'm gonna save this one to Rio 7. There's also the splash water part. That's also a nice thing, so I'm gonna save it too. So, you know, we started out with saying we were only gonna do so amount of pictures, so many amount, but we actually did a little bit more than that. And I'm gonna just go ahead and cap it at that. If anyone wants to save any other pictures, like the disco, that's a nice one you can add to, or the spa. I do sometimes add the spa picture too. So, okay, perfect. So we have our pictures for our mock booking. Was there any question? No, no new questions. Okay, perfect. So then how do we how do we do this? What do we do now? How do we put it together? How do we make it look nice, you know, presentable? So I actually keep a template of my different mock bookings. I can put these in the chat, but I have one for all the different ones that I do. So I do one for cruises. And this is just kind of my template that I use. And then I just change the information as I need it for a different cruise that I'm doing for. Like I did a Halloween cruise for 2. I also have the one for profit agility or instant commission. It's just a very small difference, I think, that I use for each one. And then I have one for VaxMock booking. So that's usually my all-inclusive. So that's what we're doing right now. This is a VaxMock booking. This is one that I did recently. So I will just copy this and paste it in here for you guys. Yes, sending it over, sending it over. Just make sure that you change the information so it's not my information. Just you don't want that floating out there. But this is what I will use for my mock booking today. I always like to do a little headliner. That's just my preference. Some people do, some people don't. I like to give a little bit about the resort, what room it is. If there's any special rooms that are available, I always highlight that, like a swim out available, our deposit, the double occupancy, and then also the airfare, travel protection, and transfer. Depending on which one I have, I'll change this throughout when I make my bookings, but whether it be private transfer or just transfer. And then whatever you'd like, if you want someone to send you a direct message, or if you want them to call you strictly, just go ahead and put that in there. I'm changing things a little bit, so I'm trying out new things. So right now I'm doing a direct message. So someone can just send me a direct message, but it's whatever you prefer to do. I also always note that I'm a licensed, bonded, insured travel agent, and then also prices and availability are subject to change. So those are things you want to make sure you kind of have in your mock booking. So we're going to go ahead and do that today with this one. So we're going to go ahead and start first with our headliner. So Jamaica. We are going to Jamaica. So I like to do getaways, vacations, specials, deals, things like that. Just because it's kind of catching, right? You know, it's the same as if you heard clearance sale, half off, you know, going out of business, something like that. So I kind of like to keep that same theme. So for today, let's say, I'm just going to change this one. Jamaica getaway special. And I'm gonna, no, actually, I'm gonna keep that lowercase. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as that, something that's simple today. But you can play with it and do whatever you'd like. Next, I want to double check what the rating is for the hotel. So I'm just going to copy the name of the hotel and go to Trust Google and double check. Hotel Rio Montego Bay, that's where we're at. It is a 5-star hotel, 5-star hotel. Perfect. So I am going to leave this all-inclusive 5-star hotel. I'm also going to double check and see what kind of wording is used in the details and in the description, because I'm going to use a little bit of that wording in the mock booking as well. So I'm going to take a look. So we have the hotel is located directly on the beach near vibrant city of Montego Bay. It consists on a 2-story main building and several 2- and 3-story annex houses with more than 800 guest rooms. After a complete refurbishment in 2020, the hotel opens like an adult-only hotel exclusively for adults over 18 years old. Next to the Rio Montego Bay are the Rio Palace Jamaica and Rio Reggae hotels. Okay, so that's just a little bit about the hotel. Let's take a look. Adult services, welcome sparkling wine. So we're going to try to find just a couple of key things to add into our description for our mock booking. If anyone sees anything, please throw something out. Anyone see anything? And when I think of something, I want to say something like, you know, if it's a opulent spa experience or, you know, exquisite gastronomy, you know, maybe unlimited luxury, something like that. So those are the kind of things that you want to pull out of these details. And you can also look on the hotel directly if you want to. You know, when I'm doing a mock booking, it usually takes, you know, about 20 minutes or so. So I don't always do this, but sometimes if I don't see anything, I will take a few extra minutes. So let's see. Oh, okay. So on the hotel website, whoa, let's get rid of that. On the hotel website, it says from its location on a white sand beach. White sand beach. That's really nice. You know, that's something I would add. So maybe I would add situated on white sand beaches. Okay, something like that. So I already have that it's all inclusive, 5-star resort situated on white sand beaches. This is from another one, so I'm gonna just go ahead and submit this. Sometimes I'll use this again, opulent spa experience, but I'm gonna just double check the spa itself. So I'm gonna go back to that. See if it says anything specific about the spa anywhere. I might use that again, or I might just omit it. Let's take a look at the amenities here. So we know that it does have a spa. It doesn't specifically say anything special here. I'm looking at the activities tab. It doesn't necessarily say anything. Okay, here we go. Wellness center and variety of treatments, massages, all wellness and beauty facilities offered at Renova Spa. So it's nothing really, you know, fancy. It's not saying that they're they have a huge spa community or anything like that, but it's something that we can definitely highlight. So I would say, let me take a look at the wording again. Variety wellness center. So since they said something like wellness, I'm going to go ahead and add wellness. Spa experience. Yep, there we go. Wellness spa experience. I always mention something about like the food or something like that. That's just my preference as well. So I'm going to take a look at the dining and see if it says anything. When there's a lot of description, a lot of verbiage and things like that, I always say that, you know, it probably has decent food. And most of them do. So, you know, this is something I would say, I would mention. So they have Exodus, Sports Bar, Roots, Jerk Station. These are the types of dinners that they give. Yeah, so I would definitely say something about that. Maybe maybe we can say exquisite. Hold on 1 second. Exquisite gastronomy. I'm gonna actually just leave it there. Exquisite gastronomy. I'm also gonna go ahead and take a look at the activities. I want to just see what things they have here that I can highlight. It looks like they have a lot going on, so I definitely want to highlight that. Another one that I always usually do is the motorized and non-motorized sports. There are some hotels that don't have that, so I do usually put that. Something fun, like maybe horseback riding, you can add that as well, whichever you prefer. You can also do scuba diving lessons. You can highlight almost anything that's on this list here. It's just whatever it is that you're looking to promote most. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I do have the motorized and non-motorized sports. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put horseback riding a little bit later in my ad as well. So non-motorized, let's do motorized and non-motorized sports. I'm gonna go ahead and double check the room that we had. So we've already finished our description of the getaway. Like what's kind of going to happen here is kind of like what it is. So it's the all-inclusive 5-star resort. It's situated on white sand beaches. They have wellness spa experiences and exquisite gastronomy, motorized and non-motorized water sports. So just kind of a little blurb. I like to get short, right to the point. That's just my preference. There are others that do give a little bit more detail, and it's absolutely okay, whatever you prefer. If you want to add more verbiage or more things to highlight, you can absolutely do that as well. Like I said, if you were doing something like a honeymoon, if you were going to post this in a honeymoon group, you might want to highlight some honeymoon exclusions as well. So it really just kind of depends on what you prefer. So we already have that. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add something about the room. I like to just add something about the room just because, you know, sometimes people, you know, if you see something that says like this luxury ocean view, you're like, ooh, luxury ocean view, you know. So that's something that, you know, you never really think about that, but it's something that probably almost everybody has done, like, ooh, swim out room. So that's something to just kind of think, just put yourself in that mode, like what would actually happen when you're reading something like this. So I like to put that for this one. We use the standard room. If we wanted to, we can always change it. If we wanted to change kind of um, the type of clients or the type of room that we wanted to sell. But for today, we're just gonna leave it as a standard room. So I'm just gonna put, and I think if you actually go back to the picture, it had a different room name. So, and it was called a guest room instead. So I'm just gonna put standard guest room. Standard guest room. And then again, like I said, if you wanted to highlight any other rooms for this particular location, I don't think there were any swim outs, but there's ocean front and ocean view. So I might go ahead and put ocean front suite available upon request. So I'll go ahead and put that too. So then now we already have our information about our package that we're going to go ahead and create our mock booking on. We have some pictures. The last thing that we need is our price. What price are we going to advertise? Let's take a look here. So now if we look at the total package price here, the total package price is the $3,453. Are we going to put that out there? Anybody? Are we going to put that on our mock booking that we want attention over? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? What do you think? Anybody, what do you think? No, Rocky, no. No, why, Rocky, why? That number is probably going to scare people. It's not something that's very attractive, right? It's not an attractive number. So you don't want to put the highest number that you can find. You don't necessarily want to do that because again, we're just trying to gather people's attention with our pretty pictures, our, you know, short sentences, our description about the hotel, maybe a few emojis. Yeah, and then it's also going to change too. Yeah, so it's not going to always be that. So you do want to just keep that in mind. So now we're going to go ahead and try to find our price. So the way that we're going to find our advertised price is actually finding out what it actually is by actually checking out. Now at this point, you're not going to actually check out. You're not paying anything. You didn't put any credit card information in. So don't be worried. We're just going to find out what the price would be for our checkout. So if we actually did have a client and we were putting the information in, this would be what our checkout would be. So this is what we're actually getting to next. Oh, so you also want to keep in mind these things as well. So look at these little warnings, warning, warning. So these things you want to also keep in mind. So it looks like the hotel that we picked, the standard room, has a new price. Oh my goodness, that can happen. And it happens all the time anywhere. So you do want to just keep that in mind. What you want to do is just go ahead and take a look at your room, standard room. It's the same, it's here. We're not going to change our hotel, but we're going to keep our room. But if we look over here, our price changed a little bit. Look at that. And it's actually for the better. So we want to just double check everything and make sure that it is still here. So we still have Club Mo Bay. But it looks like, oh, and then here's our transfer and then our travel protection. So you always want to just make sure that that is all there. So just, you know, go through and just make sure that everything's there. Those are the things you want to make sure you always have: your flights, your hotel, your transfer, and your travel protection. And then of course, any additional features, you just double check that too. So now, if you were going to hold this for a client, this is the portion in which you would go ahead and put in their information. You can hold a client's reservation depending on what the actual supplier says. So for this here, this is where we would find the total price as well as our deposit price and then when it's due here. So we would find that information here. So this up here should match this down here. And it does. So now we can see our deposit is going to be due on the 27th, which is tomorrow, due tomorrow. But there are some suppliers and some packages that offer different hold times, but you just want to double check. Sometimes it is 3 days, sometimes it is just 1 day, and sometimes the entire package is due the same day. There's no changing that. That is what it is. And you just kind of have to let the client know. You want to give them that expectation, give them that standard that, this package will be, payment will be due on this time. You just want to be very clear and very honest with them when it's due. So you're not scrambling around. So at this point here, we want to make sure we can get our deposit price. So this is our deposit price of $849.98. So we don't want to go ahead and, we do want to make sure we get that out on our mock booking, but we're still looking for the lowest price. We are still looking for the lowest price. And again, this package is for 2 adults, right? So this price is for 2 adults. So how much are we going to actually advertise? Anybody know how much we're going to advertise? What is the lowest number? That's a real number in this package that I can advertise. Put the deposit and 3 payments on the rest monthly. Okay. Not quite, almost. So we're not even gonna look at this monthly thing. That's nothing. You don't, yeah. I don't know anything about it. I don't use it. I've never used it. I know that people, some others have done that. I don't know anything about it. So you would have to ask someone else about that. But when we were looking for the lowest price per person, yes, Megan, per person, we are going to look at the lowest price per person. So this is for 2 people. So we are going to go ahead and get our handy dandy calculator because I am not a math girl. I am not a math girl at all. But we are going to divide this in 2. Okay, so the deposit for 2 people is $849.98. So that means for 1 person, it is $424.99. So that is the price we are going to advertise. I'm going to go ahead and just round that up because I'm not going to put 99 cents on here. I'm just going to go ahead and put $425. $425. And then of course, just make sure you check any spell check and things like that when you're doing your mock booking. And now that we have everything together, we have our package, we have our pictures. Now we're going to go post it. We are finally going to post it. Now, before we do that, does anyone have any questions about anything to this point? Any questions about the hotels, the flights, anything like that? No? Plug in my laptop here. Yes, Rocky, do we do the commission form? Yes. So when you are actually booking a package, after you've already booked it with your client, the next thing you want to do is you want to fill out your commission tracking form. There's an entire training on that, I believe in step 1 or 2. I think it's step 1 or 2. You can do that as soon as you actually book your client. But that's not something you want to do with your mock bookings because you wouldn't need it at this point because it's not an actual booked trip yet, but only once you do your booking with your clients. So any other questions? No? All righty, cool beans. So we are going to go ahead. We have our package here. We have our description, our Jamaica getaway special. We got a little description here. We have our price. We have everything that we need. So now we are going to go over to Facebook. Oops, we got a lot of Facebook going on here. Ooh, hold on. Ooh. The first thing that I like to do is I like to check and see what kind of groups that I have too. But that's something we'll look at here in just a second. Hold on, let me get to the posting part. So we're gonna go to your Facebook business page. Can everyone see my screen okay? Can you see my Facebook business page? I just wanna make sure that it's visible. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So we are on our Facebook business page. So this is the Meta Business Suites. I'm going to post it. The way that I like to post my mock bookings is I like to post it on my Facebook business page, and then I like to share it as myself into a different group. Why? I just like that I'm getting more insights on this post. By me sharing my page, or I'm sorry, sharing my post on a different page, I'm sharing my post. So my post is moving from one place to another. So it's getting traffic, it's moving a little bit. So that's why I like to do it. You can absolutely do it that way, or you can go ahead and just copy and paste it in different groups, you know, individually. Whatever you prefer is totally up to you. So I'm gonna go to my publishing tools here. And I am gonna create a post. And this is where we are going to go ahead and start putting our mock booking. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to check where it's going to be posted to. As you can see, I have my Instagram here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. That's not a share post. Yeah, so yeah, you do want to check the rules for different groups too. So we'll go over what kind of groups to look for too shortly, but I want to make sure we kind of go the right way. So first we're going to get our mock booking, and then we're going to look at our groups too. So we'll do a little bit of a backtrack. So first I want to make sure that I do check my Instagram because I want this post to also be shared there. And if you don't have a Facebook, or I'm sorry, if you don't have a business Instagram, you can create that. I'm not entirely sure of any other social media engines that can be attached to your Facebook, but if you know about them, please share them with us. I'm not entirely sure. I just use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google My Business for the most part. So other ones, I'm sure there are some ways to attach and post them in different ways, but this is what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to go ahead first and go back to my ad that we created in our Word document. I'm going to copy that. Copy that, and I am going to paste it here. So now let's give it a little spunk, just a little bit of spunk here. So I am going to go ahead. I don't like to add a lot of emojis. I just actually started adding emojis. I don't want to be like all emojied out, but I'm going to add a couple little twinkles, twinkles as I like to say. And then also, if you're doing any changes here, just go ahead and make the change yourself. Because for some reason, sometimes when you do like an autocorrect in this box, it'll jumble your words or it'll copy and paste it somewhere else. So just make the correction yourself. Just a tip, just a tip. But yeah, so we added our little sparkles here. I just like, you know, if you look over here, it looks cute. Add a little bit of something. If you want, you can add Brandon, absolutely. I had hashtags. We're getting there. We are getting there. Yeah, so I just added my little sparkles. If you want to add other emojis, you absolutely can. I know some people do. I just add a couple, not too many. The next thing I am going to do is I'm just going to double check my spacing and things and see how I like it, just to make sure it's how I like the spacing. It looks good to me. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add our hashtags. Now, I just found out, it happened to me that you are only limited to now 30 hashtags. I used to go hashtag crazy. I would add like 40 or 50 hashtags. But I guess now we can only add a few. So there's a couple of things that I do with my hashtags. If I don't know what to do, I don't know what hashtags to find, I will actually just Google it. So I will go to Google and try to Google best travel hashtags for 22. Yeah, so I sometimes I do this, and I'll just be honest, sometimes I don't have the brain to think about it. So sometimes I will go into just Google the best hashtags, and I'll just add them to my posts. And they're usually about the same one. So sometimes I'll remember them and I'll just put them in there. But if I have absolutely no idea, it's okay to just Google, see what are the hot hashtags right now, and you can add those to your posts. I'm gonna just take a look at some of these. I'm not gonna copy this whole thing. Just take a look at some of these and just keep mental notes of them, to see what kind of things I want to add. And it'll also give me some inspiration on what type of mock bookings to do as well. Because if you have something, maybe it has a beautiful sunset, maybe it's very popular for the sunset and the beaches or something like that, then of course you want to keep this hashtag in the back of your mind. Or if you're doing one for the Amalfi Coast, you can do Italy or something like that. So, just keep kind of mental notes of different things that you learn. So like I said, I'm just gonna look at those. I'm not gonna use all of them today. So I'm gonna go back to my Facebook meta page here. I do have hashtags that I've already used in the past that I like. So I'm gonna use some of them. So I do like to find a different variety. So if 17 million posts, 17 million posts. Sometimes I do ones where it's like only a couple thousand. I just give it a good variety. I don't know the algorithm. I don't know if it actually works. I don't really know. But I just know that this does help with gaining more traffic. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Insta Travel because I'm posting on Instagram and Facebook. Travelgram, Wanderlust was a popular one, and that one was actually on here. So again, you want to keep notes of things like that too. I also might want to do travel blogger, maybe adventure, because we did have a lot of activities on this one. So at this particular location at the Rio. So maybe I'll definitely want to do traveling. But now that we're only limited, limited to 30. I don't want to use a bunch of these because there are a couple that I want to make sure I add to. So let's add those. So those are the ones that I've added that were recently used by myself. I'm also going to add some other ones since I am going to be in Montego Bay and I am going to be at the Rio. So I'm going to use Montego Bay, maybe hotel, or I definitely want to make sure I add one for travel agents. So sometimes I'll look and see what the numbers are and I'll add that. So I'll add travel agents. And I want to maybe do Club Mobay since that's something I'm adding. I've already added. The numbers are all different, so the different types of posts, but that's okay. Having a variety is fine too. I want to do maybe adults only getaway. See, it's still fewer than 1,000, but that's okay too. Let's do Jamaica vacation. And sometimes it doesn't give you anything, which is fine. It doesn't, like I said, it's really hard to say. I don't know entirely if it works or if it doesn't. So I'm gonna add, let's see what other ones we can do. I think we did October, so maybe fall vacation. I'm gonna double check some other recent ones just to see what else I have too that we can use. Art, adventure, happy. Happy is a good one. You can use that. You can use almost virtually anything that you find. So quick getaway, we'll use that one. Traveler. I'm gonna just add romantic since it's adults only. Getaway, vacation mode is cool, so we'll add that one too. So we might have gone over our 30. I have to double check here. Oh, I don't see any errors. All right, so it looks like we're good. Okay, perfect. So we added a couple of little emojis and we have our hashtags here. Just double check your hashtags, make sure they're not, somewhere in the post here, because sometimes that does happen. I don't know what it is about Meta Business Suites in this little text box, but sometimes it can get wacky. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna go ahead and add our pictures that we save. So we're gonna go to add pictures. We're gonna upload them from our desktop, and wherever you saved your pictures, go ahead and add them. So I'm gonna add mine. There was one that I decided against. I think it was this one. So I'm not gonna add that one. So we're gonna open and add all of my pictures here. And as you can see, I got a little error message here. It's just that they like a certain type of picture when you're adding them to these posts. So all you're gonna do is click on the little pencil, and you're just going to change the way that it's cropped. So I personally just always go with horizontal. It's just my preference. It gives you more coverage of the picture. So I always do horizontal and then apply to all. Okay. So now on the right side, this is a loading preview of what your post is going to look like. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, so yes, this is what it would look like if somebody was looking at your post. You can show the option for if it's on your phone, this is what someone would see. Uh-oh. That's pretty good. Yeah, so you would see this is what it would look like if someone was looking at it. So it looks not too bad here. You got a couple hashtags, your pictures, and it's eye-catching. So that's something that you want to make sure that you accomplish during this. So the next thing that we're going to do is we've got it all together. We've got our pictures, we've got our ad, we got some hashtags, we got some bling in the picture. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and post it. So there's a couple of ways that you can post it. So you can either schedule the post and just publish it right away, or you can schedule it for a later time. I do play with different times that I like to post my mock bookings. I do various different times. I will say that if you're going to do your mock booking, especially if you're starting out in the beginning, try to be as consistent as possible. It makes a big difference when you're doing the mock bookings. If you're doing it once a day, once every couple of days, you're not going to get a result. And that's just being honest with you. So you just have to make sure that you're putting in that work there. I would say you want to try to get 3 mock booking posts a day. And that's a cycle of posts. So you do one in the morning, you make your mock booking like this, and then you post it in 5 groups in the morning, you post it at 5 in the afternoon and 5 in the evening. So that's the best way to kind of go about it. But I understand, we all understand things happen. Sometimes you can't do that. If you could do at least 2 times a day, one in the morning, one in the evening, make sure that you do it. And if you do it consistently. So that has been the absolute success for me, being consistent. Of course, we're always growing and always challenging ourselves, but being consistent is definitely something that you will have to do. So we're going to go ahead and schedule our post, we're going to go ahead and schedule our post here now. If you hit schedule, it'll give you like a time frame in which you can schedule it. Right now, I'm Central Time, so it's 9:17. So it's going to say that, you can post it, in the next 15 minutes or so. So you can post it then, or you can change it. This cute little option here, optimal times, will give you this really cool option in which it gives you an optimal time in which your customers, whoever's liking your page or whoever looks at things that are similar to your page, are optimally on time at these times. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't always use it because it usually always gives about the same time. I don't know how accurate it is, but I have used it a few times, and I don't think I've seen anything different than before. So, oh, wait a minute. Let me click that again. Time. So you can do it for each social media platform that you have. So this is the one for Facebook, and this is the one for Instagram. So it'll give you the optimal times. I don't know if this is just automatically supposed to be the same all the time, or if that's just what it is, but you can change it at any time. If you want to use optimal versus doing an actual customized time. So just for the time, I'm going to go ahead and post it now. I have posted this late before, and I've had people like it. I've had people, so as long as you do it just do it. As long as you do it, it doesn't specifically matter what time that you do it. I know that it does say, do one, at these hours, and these hours, which is absolutely correct. You should do that. But if you can't get to those hours, don't beat yourself up over that. That's okay. Just go ahead and post it, as soon as possible. Get it as close as possible to those times. So I am going to go ahead and post it right now because I have done it at this time of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to cancel. I'm afraid to do that. So I'm just going to schedule my post for 9:38. So, okay. So now this is what my scheduling page is. This would be my post when I post it. Actually, I wonder, I'm just going to publish it now. I'm sorry. Let me publish it now because I want to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just scheduled the post now. It hasn't registered here. It does take a few minutes sometimes. So while we're doing this, I'm waiting for that to go. I'm going to go ahead and go back to Facebook, and we're going to look at how to add join different groups. There's tons of different groups that you can add. There's never not enough groups. There's never not enough groups. I don't even know if that makes sense, but there are so many groups out there. It doesn't make sense. So the different types of groups that I add, I do direct sales, I do yard sales, I do no rules, I do moms groups, I do mom and dad's groups, I do marketplaces. Those are the types of groups that I particularly like to look at. I found that I don't think there's any one better than the other, but it's just about getting yourself out there. So today we're going to take a look at some no rules groups. When you've already done your no rules and you've maxed out on all of the groups that are there, if you take a look at mine, I typed in no rules and I've already added all these groups that are no rules. So now you're like, well, where do I find more groups that are no rules? So what I usually do is I just pick a state. I pick a state and I type that in there. So I will do no rules. Let's do South Carolina. Just pick a state and type that in and see what comes up. As you can see, groups came up. Some of them I'm already in here. Some that I'm not in. So I want to make sure that I can get into those groups. So you do want to just take a look at them and make sure that they're not, a group that you're not looking for, like a real estate connections. I'm probably not going to join that group because I'm not doing real estate. But this one, West Columbia, South Carolina, yard sale and no rules, absolutely going to join that group. And I'm going to join that as myself. And I can already, since it's a public group, these are the groups that you really want to try to get to, or the public groups. Of course, it's okay to try to do private groups, but some of them do have rules, or you have to wait for the admin to approve you. So these public groups that are no rules or yard sales, or advertise your business group, I'm going to definitely jump into that group. You definitely want to just kind of jump in as many as possible. Now, when you jump in and when you join these groups on a daily basis, don't do what I did where you just start going on a join frenzy and you just join a million groups at once, because Facebook will block you. They think you might be a scammer or something trying to hack the system. So try not to do more than 5 or 6 at a time. Don't start doing like 10, 12, 15 of them at a time. So do, a couple times a day, do 5 or 6 at a time so that you don't end up in Facebook jail, which is not fun. So we've already added a group here. So like I said, you just want to go through and add a couple of these groups, maybe something like this, South Carolina online flea market. You do want to just make sure you check the rules as well. So I'm going to go back up to the one, because that was one that someone had mentioned recently. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to click on it and see. So now I'm part of this public group. It has 8,000 members. So it's got a pretty good client base here. So I want to just kind of take a look and see if there's anything that has any kind of rules or anything like that that I need to be aware of. And if there are any rules, you would be able to find it here, but there's nothing that says rules here. So there's no rules for this group. So I'm just going to keep a mental note of the group that we're going to post in. There's no rules. So I'm just going to copy it, just the name of the group. And I'm gonna go back to my Facebook business page. Actually, I'm gonna go this way. Just one moment here. And I'm gonna go back to my Facebook business page. And when you go back to your Facebook business page, this is the view from as if you were the one who is interacting. So me, this is my business 321 Travel. This is me interacting as 321 Travel. I can click this little arrow here, this little drop down, and I can interact as if I were just a regular person or as myself, not as the one who owns this page. So I'm gonna click as if I was myself, not the owner of this page. And I'm just gonna take a look and scroll down to my post that we just made. There's also different things that you can use to kind of leverage your Facebook page. If you're not familiar with Branch Up, Branch Up is a great resource that'll help with adding some bulk to your page. Just in case, I mean, you're not going to post mock bookings every single day. Sometimes it happens where you can't get to it, but Branch Up is a good way to add that. So you can add these different things to your page. So if you haven't seen that video, there is one for that. Just make sure you reach out to someone on your team or in the chats and see if you can find out where that video is. So I am actually looking for my post. Where did it go? Jamaica special. This is the 26th at 9. Oh, it still hasn't posted? Oh, heavens, hold on. Let's try again. Publish now. Publish page. So let's go back and see if it posted. Sorry, I meant to just publish now earlier, but I scheduled it. So give me just a second here. Aha, there we go. So it's posted. Perfect. So I'm gonna just restart. Oops, give me a second. Just gonna refresh my page here. Change my view back to myself. And go find the page or the post, I'm sorry. It should be somewhere here. Aha, here we go. So this is what our post looks like on our business page. So as you can see, 321 Travel posted it, and this is what it looks like. And it is public. I cannot remember how to do any of this. I believe it's in that Facebook training video. I would have to check, but I don't know anything about how to make things public, but you do want to make sure that it is public. You can also YouTube it or Google it. But you want to make sure that your post is public so that it can be seen by the public and not privately. So now we have our page. Post. It is posted. It's published on our page. So now we have a group that we already looked at. So we are going to go ahead and share it in that group. So I'm going to click share, and then I'm going to click share to a group. I am going to make sure that I'm sharing it as myself. It gives me two options to either do it as 321 Travel or share as Ciara J. Mason. That's me. I'm going to copy and paste the name of that group that we joined earlier, the West Columbia, South Carolina yard sale, no rules. And I'm going to post it in there right now. When I post, I just like to add like something, to think about, like a little slogan. It's just my personal. I'm going to add something like you are so deserving. Are so deserving because we are all so deserving of relaxation. We are deserving of travel, new experiences, new life, new culture. We are all so deserving, but sometimes we get so bogged down throughout the days and we forget that we're deserving of those things. So I always put something like that just to have someone think like, yeah, maybe I am deserving. So that's what I like to do that for. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. Like I said, it's in a public group. This is my post. As you can see, this is 321 Travel, my business page that I am sharing Ciara in this group. So I'm going to go ahead and post it. And I'm going to view my post by clicking here. So this is the group that I just posted in. Oh man, look at that. See, this group, see, some of the groups, they don't abide by what they say. This group says it's no rules, which means that I should have just been able to post it and it would just pop up here automatically and be added into the group, but it's pending content status. So that means somebody, a content manager or their admin is going to be reviewing this, and then it's going to be posted in the group. So again, you just want to make sure that you check the rules on each group and make sure that it's okay. But again, sometimes they don't change it, they don't monitor it, but it would normally be here in this page. I'm sorry, it would be here on this post, or this post would be in this page, and you would see that it's posted here. So it would look something like this, but it would be public. So this is Ciara posting it in this group. I always tag myself here. I just like to give myself as many mentions as possible everywhere. So I always share my posts in a group and I always tag myself in that share. Again, it's just more traffic, more ways for your name to be said out there in the virtual world. So it really does help with working that algorithm. I don't know entirely about all of the algorithm. I'm not a professional. I don't know anything like that. I've just been practicing and doing this and I've been getting great success. So this is kind of what I do. This is how I do my mock bookings. Like I said, everyone does it a little bit different. It's really up to you, however you like to, but you're more than welcome to take any part of what I've done or what has anyone else has done, change it and make it your own. So that's kind of how we do mock bookings. And that's what, like I said, it's been my success. Are there any questions about anything that we've done today? Any comments, anything you'd like to add? No?
Did you help me with an off topic by chance?
Oh, sure. What's up, Brandon? What might it be?
So you were talking about branch up and everything like that just now.
Mhm.
I didn't go in there and turn off South America,
Oh, okay.
and now somebody wants a South America trip.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
great.
Vax is not pulling anything up for me.
Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely something you want to. So there's different suppliers that you can use for that. If you were looking to, did they give a specific location where in South America?
Livingston,
Livingston.
Zimbabwe, or
Yeah, so I would probably look into probably using another supplier. Personally, sometimes I do just use one that'll just do the work for me. Sometimes it really just depends.
yeah.
A great one would be if you were booking something in Europe, I would use Europe Express. For South America, I believe the one that was mentioned before was called I think it's called Go Away Tours. I'd have to get that. I'll get that information. Just remind me before we log out. But what you can do is you can send an inquiry form to them, Go Away Tours. They'll look up, they'll be able to help you with putting a package together for your client. So they'll do your flight, they'll do your transfers. If you want any tours, they'll ask you what your budget is. So you want to make sure you have that information for them when you're ready. So they'll ask you for that information and they will put everything together for you. Now the commission is a little bit different and you'll have to check. Some of them will only give maybe 50% commission, but I mean, 50% commission on a $10,000 trip, $12,000 trip, it's still better than nothing. And it's a headache that you don't have to worry about because the supplier is taking care of that for you as well. But
well, I mean, the person only wants the actual flight anyway. That's why I was trying to he just wants to go over there. He says,
oh,
as soon as I get there, I have everything else planned. I just need to get over there.
okay, got you, got you. Well, in that case, I personally don't do flights only, especially
Okay.
international. So I wouldn't know. If you want to try to look into a flight international, I would probably go with Archer Go.
Okay.
Yeah, probably go with Archer Go. Peggy over at Archer is the one who handles our flights. She'll be able to help you with that. So I would probably reach out to her. You can find the information for her in Discord under
I
our
got
context. Oh yeah, okay.
it.
All right,
I
you
work
already
with
got
a lot.
it. Yeah, okay, cool.
I
Yeah, I
just didn't
hope
know if
that
there was
helps.
like Southwest or something like that, that
Mhm. Yeah,
But
there's actually a lot of airlines that I didn't even know existed out there. So yeah, you never know which one will go there. Sometimes American Airlines will be the one, it might be United, Delta, or it could be something specialty depending on the location. So
all
yeah.
righty, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, sure. Cool. Yeah, any other questions about anything? Oh, that's so great. I'm so happy to hear that, Ricky. Yes. And as you do this more and more, it'll get more familiar and um you will learn more and more every day. I will say, get on these live trainings, get on your Q&As. Those are going to be what really helps you. I will say that that it's helped me a lot. Just because it's nice to talk to somebody. It's nice to actually talk it out. Sometimes typing it out is not the easiest thing, or it doesn't really make sense when it's being conveyed in different ways, via email or whatever the case may be. But being able to ask your questions live and see somebody, it's so much different. So hop on these Q&As, like I said, or the trainings that are available. If they, even if you've heard it a million times, you've seen it a million times, you might learn something new. Someone might say something different. I'm sure every time I do these mock booking trainings, I always give something different. I don't always give the exact same thing. So just hop on them as much as you can. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording for today. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And I hope to see you guys again soon.